we're going to get started here. Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is, what is it? Wednesday. Wednesday, the 16th of May, 2012. Let me just give you the results from the morning. The YM, we were up 27 ticks. The Russell, we were down 14 ticks. The ES, we were break even. And gold, we were down 10 ticks. And the NQ, we were break even. Alright. We did trade in all those markets today, and that's how we ended up. Now, let's start out here with the NQ. The NQ had the most trade setups of the morning. Had the most trade setups that I missed of the morning, obviously. You can see it had more right here during the break. The NQ is just full of opportunity today. Why aren't I up 200-300 ticks on the NQ? Well, I think we probably have partners that maybe, if that's what they focused on. Okay? My mission was to teach this morning, as it is every morning, and trade as well. But here are the opportunities. Okay? Right here, we had bearish divergence. Bearish divergence right there. Okay, pulled back up to the BBC, gave a down close, moved down again right here. Same bearish divergence, same move down. Hit the BBC, closed down for the move down. It gave more divergence down here, but it hadn't tested the BBC. I did take this trade over here. It tested the BBC. This was not the perfect opportunity here because the cycle was blue and headed up. It was blue and headed up here. I missed both of these where it was a much better trade. If I was going to give the trade a grade, I would say that these here were probably B plus trades, only because the MA1 turned a little bit blue on it. Otherwise, they would have been A grade trades. This one over here was like a C trade, C plus maybe. I went short right there. I got out break even. Okay. Now I'm just going to scroll along here. This big move up, we never had a pullback, so we couldn't get into that. Then up here, it chopped around a little bit, gave us some bearish divergence, but the MA1 was on the wrong side of the BBC. The MA1 being this red and blue line, the BBC being the green line. All right. It had a quick move down here. We had no opportunity in there. Now I have on my slingshot, I had taken a couple of things off. I'm going to put this one back on. All right. Now, when I say there were no opportunities, there were opportunities depending on what you wanted to do. Okay. There are faster ways. There are trade setups here that like right here where the green turned in the direction of the brown, you could have jumped in right there regardless of what everything else was doing. Over here, the same thing. Green turned in the direction of the brown, you could have jumped in right there regardless of what everything else was doing. Okay. So there were trade setups in there and opportunities to get in on pretty much all of these right here. There are opportunities to get in. Like right here, the green turned in the direction of the brown. You could have jumped in right there and been in on that move. Scrolling back over here, trade setups that we did actually take. We had the bullish divergence right here. It pulled back down, tested the BBC, gave an up close. It gave me about 6 ticks. I moved my stop up to break even. It stopped me out of break even, and then it ran up. I think I had entered here at 87.5, something like that, and it ran all the way up to, let's call it 93.5, just so we can say a nice even 7 points. 6 points, sorry. I gave another one here. Again, this one, the cycle was headed down. The MA1 was also headed down. Not the best opportunity, probably a C plus grade. It still gave a couple of points. Now, as price moved along over here, there was another one. Right here, I missed all these. This one didn't go very far though, which is, for the NQ today, that was a little unusual that it didn't go very far when it had all this going for it. This was like, B plus trade. Over here, same thing, B plus trade, and you can see that one went a couple of points. Over here, same thing, and that one dropped quite a bit. Let's see, we are getting toward our break period here. There was another divergence right here, bullish divergence right here. Well, okay, I skipped over this. It was bearish divergence right here. Okay, that move tested the BBC, closed down right there, only went 1 bar, which is 4 ticks. Didn't give much at all. This one right here tested the BBC, closed up, and that went several bars up. Now we are getting into the break period. Right over here. Closed down, and it moved down 1, 2, 3.5, probably 4 bars, which is about 12 ticks. Okay, another one right in here. This one moved down pretty quickly. And over here on the way up. Okay, this was during the break right here. Okay. Alright, and that was the NQ. The NQ had by far the most trades this morning. Okay. We sat around on our hands for a while this morning with the gold and the Russell and the ES. I did take 2 trades on the ES. Both of them eventually went to target. I got stopped out at break even on both. Okay, this one went about 5 ticks in my favor. I moved my stop to break even. It stopped me out, drew down about a point, then went up to the target. And this one over here, I shorted at 13.33 even. This one went about a point against me, and then it dropped 7 ticks in favor, which was 1 tick away from my target. And I moved my stop to break even, and it came back up and stopped me out of break even before it went down to the target. All right, that was the ES this morning. There was another trade in here. This one right here. I didn't take this one. I don't know if Dwayne took this one, but there was another pullback after putting in a higher high right there. It came back, pulled back to the BBC. If you took that, it gave about a 1.5 point before it pulled back to stop you out. Okay, this big move down right here was when the ECB said they weren't going to help. Well, they weren't going to help some of the Greek banks, is what we know so far anyway. All right, that was the 10K ES. Now on the YM, I'll show you what I did on the YM. There were trades that set up on the YM that I didn't take, that I missed as I usually do. But the first bunch of the morning here, I didn't do anything. I wasn't able to do anything. Nothing was setting up just right. Okay, so I didn't take any trades in here. There was a short trade right in here. I didn't take. Let's see, where was that? That was right over here. Right here, you see we had the bearish divergence down here on the bottom. Again, you guys see I just switched markets. I'm using basically the same time frame. I'm using the same indicators and taking the same trade setup. Okay. Right here, there was bullish divergence for a long trade. This was an A-grade trade right here. Why didn't we take that? Oh, because it was going into a weekly trading zone. All right, there was a weekly trading zone right here at 12,700. That's why we were not looking to take trades into the zone. All right, but that one did go right into the zone. There was another one over here, actually 2 of them. Right here, there was bearish divergence right there. Okay, I tested the BBC and a down close right there, and another one right over here. Another one here that we did actually take. Again, when I took this trade, it wasn't one of the better opportunities. It was just one of the ones that I happened to be able to take because I wasn't doing 10 other things at the time. I ended up getting a break even on this trade. All right. The thing that was going on right here, I think the reason I took the break even on this is because on the 1500 contract, that short was going right into the BBC. Let's see, what time was that? Yep, right here. You can see where the cursor is over there on the right-hand chart. It was going right into the BBC right here. So I took a break even on that trade. The next trade that I took was right over here. We had the bearish divergence here, and I went short after we tested the BBC. That pulled against me, almost stopped me out because I only had 7 ticks risk on it. And then it just tanked down, gave me 20 points. Let's see, then the market chopped around a little bit, moved back and forth, in and out of this zone. And we had the bearish divergence here, but it was going right into the zone. You see right there was a down close with a test of the BBC, but it was going right into the zone. Same thing over here. Finally, after it broke down below the zone, we had this opportunity right here that I missed, and we had this opportunity right over here that I took. All right, I shorted right there, and I took 7 ticks profit right over here. Okay, that was my last YM trade that I took. It looks like right here there was another one on the long side that could have been taken. Okay, right there, the up close with the bullish divergence. All right, that was the YM. Now, that was the YM 4-tick range. If we look at the YM 1500 contract, starting out here, it was right inside the weekly trading zone, so I wasn't going to do anything in here. But you can see price pulled back to the BBC right in here, bounced off it, and went zone to zone. It pulled back to the BBC again up here and went about 18 ticks, almost up to the zone again, but it didn't make it. Dropped back down here to the zone down below, and it's been sitting there ever since. Okay. As far as bounces off the BBC go, there was another one right here. After the bearish cross, it pulled back up to the BBC, tested it, and it dropped from 12,656, well, down to 620, which is 36 ticks. It's a fair amount of money. Okay. $180, I believe, per contract. That was the YM 1500. All right, so now I've done. Did I do the Russell yet? I think I did. Yeah, I did do the Russell. Okay, the one I haven't done is gold. I haven't done gold. I did the NQ. I did the Russell. I did the ES. I did the YM. Let's do gold. All right, I had one trade in gold, and it was a losing trade. I think I only had one. I might have had two. Let's see. If I had two, I drew it in there when I was doing it. Yeah, I did. I had a break even. This, I was pointing something out here in the live trading room to one of our partners this morning. Over here, too. This is where the green turns into the brown. With the brown going in this direction, the green turns in that direction. All right, there was an opportunity there, an opportunity there, an opportunity here. This was a trade that I took. We had the bearish divergence down here. You see? Price pulled up, tested the BBC, gave a down close. It went in my favor a little bit right here, and I meant to move my stop to break even, but I didn't have time. It came back up, stopped me out, and then it went in the opposite direction. Now, while it was going in the opposite direction, the green turned in the direction of the brown right here. That should have been a dead giveaway for me right there. Okay? To get the heck out of that trade. But it happened so fast I couldn't anyway, even if I wanted to. On the flip side of that, we had right here with the bullish divergence, okay, the up close, bullish divergence after testing the BBC. Over here, the green turned in the direction of the brown. Again, right here, green turned in the direction of the brown. We did have some divergence in here, but it pulled too far through the BBC to take the short. Okay, over here we had some divergence. This wasn't the highest quality trade. And to be honest, I wasn't watching gold all that much this morning. Right in there, we had another opportunity right in here. I took this short, and I ended up getting a break even on it. Okay, you see we had the bearish divergence. It stopped down. It went down here, and the MA1 held the price, so I moved my stop to break even, and I got out of that at break even. All right, as we continue over here, the green turned in the direction of the brown. That's what I was highlighting right there. It did that again right over here. Okay, right there. It did that again. It did it on the long side over here, but you know when it's below the BBC, we're looking for shorts, not longs. We didn't get any pullbacks until over here, and by the time it pulled back, we lost our divergence. Never got back up above the BBC in this move down anyway. Okay, right here was a very nice trade on the long side. Oops, right here. But this was about the time that that news had come out. You can see, oops, that was over at 11:07. You can see down at the bottom if you look at the time scale, all these bars between 11:07 and 11:08. They all happened in 1 minute. From here to here is 1 minute. So the chances of being able to get into that trade are pretty slim. All right, short right over here. Now this one you may have been able to get into. It flipped around, and right here the green was going in the direction of the brown. Okay, right up there. You can see how that's a total momentum trade, and you would just jump in and ride the market. All right, ride the momentum. Until about... Okay, Mike. I'm going as fast as I can right here. All right. There's another one right there. It had bearish divergence, but what I'm talking about is the green turning in the direction of the brown. Okay. Let's see. Sliding down here, we had bullish divergence right here. And that was the test of the BBC with the up close right there. All right. So do you guys see? I'm doing the same thing across all these markets. using the same setup, the same set of indicators. All right, that was gold today. So now I've done the NQ, gold, the Russell, the ES, and the YM. I think those are all the markets that we took trades on this morning. I'll take one quick look at crude. I did mark a few things up in crude this morning. At least I think I did. But you can see on crude, it's all the same stuff. Okay, looking for all the same things. Crude is one of those really fast markets, so if you can get the green turning into the brown, that same thing, green turning into the brown. There's one right up there. There's another one over here. Oops, not there. It was there and there. All right, two opportunities right there. Another one over here, right off the top. Let's see. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. Using the regular divergences, it was divergence here with a test of the BBC and a move up. Divergence here, it didn't actually test the BBC, but it did move up. Divergence turned around, tested the BBC, and it moved down from right here. Okay, right there. Now that was an ideal setup because everything was red. The MA1 was red, the cycle was red. It gave you the pullback, it gave you the test, and it gave you the down close. That was the ideal setup right there. All right, and that's just more of that happening throughout the morning. Okay, this is all pretty straightforward and simple, guys. Using the same things on all the markets, same setups, same everything. All right, right there and right there. All right, now I'm going to wrap it up here for the recap for today. If you have not taken a free trial, you should take a free trial at www.cfrn.net/apply. If you are on the free trial and you don't know how to become a partner, tomorrow night is the partners meeting, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Become a partner before tomorrow night, and we'll get you right in there. Okay. If you don't know how to become a partner, if you don't know what it takes, send me an email at support@cfrn.net. That's support@cfrn.net, and I will give you all the information you need, and we can get everything done as quickly as possible. All right, we're wrapping up the recording.